Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to read a letter from a lady. I'm going to read this letter verbatim because there are so many points in there that I'll not be able to remember. So this one will have to be read in its entirety. It's not a long letter though. So here goes, and I hope a lot of women can learn from this lady's experience. Okay, here goes. Dear advisor, I'm a 31-year-old lady. 5 months ago, I met the most wonderful man. He is handsome, charming, intelligent, educated, sociable, cultured, and he has the most pleasant personality you could ever find in a man. And advisor, on top of that, guess what? He can cook. He actually is a great cook. Whenever I am to go over to his place during the week, he gets in early and cooks me dinner till I get in from work. On the weekends that I spend at his place, he treats me like a real princess. Advisor, I'm falling for this guy like you wouldn't believe, but there is a problem. I want to introduce him to all my family, especially my mom and dad, but he's always making excuses not to go. They all know of him and are dying to meet him, but whenever the time approaches, he always finds an excuse or a reason to reschedule. At times, he would drop me off at a friend's or relative's house, but he never stops long enough to get introduced. The funny thing is that he takes me to the movies and other fun places and also introduces me to all his friends, and so far I have met all his 4 siblings. His excuse is that he's not sure they would approve of him. I think he just says that tongue-in-cheek because he is a very good catch, and I'm sure all my relatives would have approved. Why I find this particularly hard to believe is that by nature he's a very sociable, friendly, and well-mannered person. Another thing is that I would love to move in with him. He lives alone in his own 2-bedroom flat. However, he keeps saying that he is too difficult to live with and that he would only make me miserable. I keep telling him that I love him and was fully prepared to put up with his bad habits if I ever found any. But that response seemed to be falling on deaf ears. Advisor, I have no reason to suspect that there is someone else in his life. So how can I convince him to come and get acquainted with the other people who are very important to my life? I am also get him to change his mind about us living together. How can I convince him to come and get acquainted with the other people who are important to my life and also get him to change his mind about us living together? And she signed the letter, but I think this is a real name, so I won't call it. Anyway, my dear lady, I must say I'm kind of sad for reading your story because I think you have a problem. I think you have a big problem. And the biggest part of your problem is that you are actually head over heels in love with this guy. But I'm afraid I can't be very positive about how this will turn out. Yeah? But you're moving fast, You're moving fast, and he is not moving fast. So you are both moving at different paces, All right? So, I'm not sure if, what are the things with men? Yes? When you see they behave like this, it can be one of 2 things. The first is that he might just not be sure you're that person, and he's taking his very, very patient time to get to know you and to see if you are the one he wants to spend the rest of his life with. And because of that, he is reluctant to meet your parents or your nearest and dearest because he is concerned about whether if things doesn't work out, and he has to move on, then he would be facing the questions that would normally, be coming from those relatives who are your nearest and dearest, or for them looking on him anyway if things doesn't work out. But the whole point is that he's not certain where you both go from there, so he's simply taking his time. That's the first possibility. Well, the second possibility is that he might be just a player. Yes, he might be just a player. And he is just not interested in any relationship, neither with you or with anyone else. That's not in his head right now. That could be it. And what it is that when you get your heartbreak, he know the heartbreak is coming, and he wants to make sure that when you get that heartbreak, he doesn't have to see any of your relatives on the street that had accepted him, and then they look like, and then he look embarrassed or anything, or he have to give some kind of explanation. So because that is not on his agenda to have you permanently in his life, then he just don't want to meet them. And I think one of the reasons why too is that he's considerate of your feelings, and he's considerate of what might happen and the embarrassment you might face. So he's trying to protect you. It can be one of those two things. And based on what you say about this guy, he has so many wonderful attributes. He knows he is the cat's pajamas. He knows he is a well sought after guy. And I'm sure that there is a few hundred women lined up around the block who needs a guy like him. And he seems to know this. So it is difficult to get someone who has so many good things going for him to just settle when he knows that basically he is what we call in London, they call him a fanny magnet. He attracts the kitten everywhere he goes. And women, this is a thinking woman's dream guy. Yeah? So other women feel this way about him, and he knows it. He don't want any one of your relatives to come and say, what happened to that very nice guy you had introduced us to last month? And he's trying to save you that embarrassment. And you said that he introduced you to his friends and family. You have met his brothers and sisters, all four of them, and you have met all his friends and so on and so on. No, he doesn't have a problem introducing you to those people, because what? Those people know who he is, knows what he is, have no explanation, no expectations of him, and are not tying him to any program whatsoever. They accept him for who he is. So if they see you with him this month and see next month somebody else with him, it's all the same to them. You understand? So he can introduce you to them. So that's why he's so quick to introduce you to his friends, because his friends already know who he is. And they're really not looking for anything from him in any way. They're not looking for nothing whatsoever more than just being their friend or relative. So he will always introduce you to those. And you notice you have not said whether he introduced you to mom and dad, his mom and dad. But if they are around and he has not introduced you to them yet, then they are the people that matters, because a man not going to take any woman to his parents unless he is 100% sure that she is the one. Even if she is not, but he have to at least think she's the one. So I don't know if his parents are around, but that would, and he hasn't taken you to them, but take it to his siblings and friends, then that is also a strong indication. So my take on it is that more than likely you're just flavor of the month. He's a kid in an ice cream shop, and he knows he can have vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, pistachio, and every other flavor, and it's there just for the taking. And I think he's milking his situation for all it's worth. But having said all that, now that's the bad news, yeah? But having said all that, at his age, at some point, he's going to have to settle down. And believe me, he will. You haven't said if he has any kids out there, or if he's childless, but he will want children, I assume, and he will want a wife. And you just might be that person, regardless of how he is behaving now. If you are prepared to stay in the loop, keep yourself relevant in his life, you just might be the one. So I'm not saying give up. I'm just giving you straight so you know what you're facing and you know what lies ahead, possibly lie ahead. But if you think if you're spunky enough and you think you've got it to stay for the long haul and so on, then go for it. Go for it. You just might be the one. Yeah? So do that. And another thing I need to tell you, there's something about men. Being a man, I speak for all men. Men are hunters. You hear? We hunt. Nothing is more important to us than the hunt, because we want to stalk our prey, and when we stalk it, we pounce on it and we capture it, kill it. So when a man goes after a girl and she just comes and falls into his lap and is always there, he gets disinterested. Yeah, because he has already killed it. He can't hunt it anymore. Now he's looking for something else to hunt. What I'm saying with you now is that I want you to back off a bit. Don't, every time he calls you over, sometimes when he calls you over, make an excuse, and it mustn't be a really big excuse, just that, well, I just don't feel to leave the house tonight, or something, leave him thinking. You don't have to lie, like, oh, you have to have a meeting, or you have to have a whatever, don't lie about somebody being sick or that. Just, saying, no, I just don't feel like come over, or, I just want to stay in and watch TV tonight, or, I just feel like being with my mom, whatever, if your mom lives with you, or that kind of thing. And when you do that, this will get him more interested, because this is a guy who is used to attracting women like flies to the brown stuff. So if he sees you sort of not playing hard to get now, but just become more not so compliant, this will get him very, very interested. That's how women are. We start thinking, how come she could be losing interest in me so quickly? I'm the cat's pajamas. Yeah, I mean, she's not supposed to. And he will start pursue you. Men love the pursuit. We love the pursuit. Yes? Once you see me in somewhat disinterested, so you will go to his house, and you spend nights and you spend weekends and all of that continuously. I'm not saying to stop that. I'm saying cut down on the amount, just to see how he would react. Let him start coming by your house at 11 at night to see if you are there, or to force you to come, or to beg you, plead with you to come over, and that sort of thing. And that would get him much more interested than you simply rushing at him and forcing him into stuff, and let him act as if you need your space. You just need your space, just like how he need his. You need yours. And that will sort of, that to a man is like you're baiting him up. Yeah, as a man, I can tell you, that is baiting him up. And he will, sort of maintain an interest. So try that, and stay positive, and believe me, do not give up, because you just might be the one. But all I want you to do is to keep it real. Keep it real, because this man now go settle with you unless you are exceptional. And the fact that you wrote to me, and the fact that you could identify all his positive attributes, it means that you are exceptional. So do what you can and tell me how it goes. Write back and let me know. And if there's anybody out there who think I have read or misinterpreted the whole situation, please let me know. I would really love to know. So guys, like, share, leave a comment below, and let me know what you think. Thanks for listening.